This mechanical layout of the Discworld cosmos shows a flat planet supported by 4 giant elephants, who in turn stand on the shell of a massive turtle. It's a world where the laws of physics are replaced by the rules of narrative and whim. Yet even here, one system remains perfectly organized: death. At a midnight hiring fair in the Ramtop Mountains, we meet Mort. He is tall, gangly, and prone to thinking so hard he forgets to scare away the birds. By the time the clock strikes 12, every other boy has been apprenticed to a trade. Mort is left standing alone in the square. As the final toll of midnight begins, a massive white horse trots into the square. A figure in a black cloak dismounts, his eye sockets glowing with faint blue stars. He ignores the crowd and approaches the boy, offering a job to the one candidate the rest of the world overlooked. This isn't a story of a chosen hero, it's a story about a cosmic vacancy. Mort is drafted into a role that exists outside the normal boundaries of human life. Before any training begins, Death takes Mort into the city of Ankh-Morpork. Despite his grim nature, the Reaper has a very human craving for a spicy Klitchian curry, leading his new apprentice through the crowded, stinking streets to a local restaurant. As they walk, no one screams or runs. This schematic of the human mind explains why. When the eyes see a 7-foot skeleton, the brain hits a mental fireball. It deletes the impossible figure, subconsciously triggering a physical step aside. The result is a crowd that parts like a wave for Death, while Mort, still visible to everyone, is getting elbowed and shoved. In this world, the crowd doesn't see the truth. They see only what their expectations allow to exist. Mort's apprenticeship begins not with magic, but with a shovel. He spends his days in Death's domain cleaning the stables for a horse named Binky. It's a grounding task, intended to help a human mind adjust to a realm outside time. He eventually finds his way to the library. Here, the shelves are filled with biographies that write themselves in real time. As people live their lives in the mortal world, ink appears on the page, recording every action until the book is closed. The most critical part of this domain is the room of biometers. These hourglasses track the exact remaining time of every person on the disc. This diagram shows the mathematical precision of the falling sand. There is no way to slow the flow or turn the glass over. In the realm of the Reaper, life is a finite substance. It is measured in grains of sand that fall at a constant, unalterable rate. For his first field assignment, Mort follows Death to the kingdom of Stolat. They arrive at a royal banquet where King Ollerv is about to be assassinated by his cousin, the Duke of Stohellet. As the assassin fires, time slows down. The world fades into twilight shades of blue and purple. The arrow is visible now, crawling forward through the thick, molasses-like air toward the king's chest. Mort breaks rank. He dives toward the king, trying to snatch the arrow out of the air. He is attempting to use his human reflexes to stop a death that has already been recorded in the library. The arrow hits. Mort watches as Death draws a sword and severs the king's soul. The strike is clean, leaving no mark on the body, but the result is final. No amount of human effort can interfere once the last grain of sand has fallen. But as Mort stands over the body, the king's daughter, Princess Kelly, looks up. Unlike the rest of the court, she doesn't look through him. She looks right at him, her eyes wide with terror. Mort is left standing in the center of a room where he is invisible to everyone but her. He is a servant of an unyielding system, but for the first time he is being held accountable by the living. Haunted by the princess's face, Mort asks for an afternoon off. He uses his wages to head back to Ankh-Morpork, determined to find a horse and return to Stolat to find her. His journey takes an odd turn in a back alley. When 3 muggers corner him, Mort panics and stumbles backward. Instead of hitting the wall, his body ripples through the stone, and he finds himself on the other side of a solid building. He eventually secures a horse and begins a frantic race across the Stow Plains. He gallops past mile after mile of cabbage fields, pushing the animal through the night toward the castle. Mort is now trying to bridge 2 worlds. He's carrying a horse across a continent, and using an unstable, accidental power to bypass the physical barriers that should keep him out. Back in the Silent Realm, the roar of the falling sand fills the biometer room. Death is pacing, uncharacteristically distracted by a heavy sense of melancholy he can't quite explain. He decides he needs to step away from his duties for the night. He calls for his apprentice to handle the final reaping, trusting Mort to manage a simple, routine soul collection. He pulls the target's hourglass from the shelf. It's an ornate piece filled with black sand. The name engraved on the base is Princess Kelly. This is Mort's first solo mission. Death has assigned him to reap the life of the very person he is currently risking everything to save. While Mort gallops toward the castle to prevent a tragedy, he doesn't know that the universe has already appointed him to be the one who carries it out.